Everybody, it's Monday. Happy Monday. Hope everybody have a great Thanksgiving. It's Drawstream 57, and I have a guest here. Boom.
Hey,
You'll recognize him.
howdy. How's everybody doing? Jiminy Cricket.
We have Amy Lester in the chat.
Yeah, I showed
you
up
doing,
on
Amy?
that chat to avoid Amy's band hammer. So
Let's see. Yeah, she's pretty. She runs a tight ship, right?
no, seriously, don't look at her crossways. She'll time you out.
Let's see. I'm gonna do share screen. I forgot how to share screen present. Share screen. Okay, there we go.
Hey, Christina Lynn's here.
Hey, Christina, how's it going? Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Didn't eat too much. Let's see here. There we go. Now we can see Jiminy's icon there. Let's see, Lisa's in the middle of taking a walk. Lisa, not Lisa.
You can't see me, but I'm waving. I'm waving to everybody.
Yeah, Jimmy's waving. Let's see. We'll open up my page here. Let's see. Modded. Yeah, the holidays slowed me down. I was gonna start getting my jump started into getting things going, and then on holidays, and then right before that, we were dealing with car insurance stuff.
Yeah.
So we got that taken care of, and the holidays stepped in. So now I'm like, okay, I got to get going on this. So I have this NFTs, and I have some commissions I'm catching up on.
Okay.
There's one commission I'm working on. It's based off the video game. What's it called? It's the character is like a woman with guns. Man, my mind just blanked out. It starts with a B, I think.
A woman with what?
With guns, and she has like long braids, but she has guns like on her high heels are like guns on the back of her. Bayonetta, right?
Yeah. Bayonetta, yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on that, a commission for that piece right now. So, and also I have the Lester sisters pieces pretty much done. I'm just kind of doing a little extra stuff for them to add in because I'm late. So I'm catching up on all these commissions and the work. So before Christmas hits, I want to kind of catch up on everything.
Very cool.
So starting to get strict on myself.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just starting to get strict again. That's all I can say. Sure. So what are you working on?
I'm working on lettering for Bruce the Badass too.
Oh, is that by what's his name?
It's an announcer in John DeLay.
John DeLay, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing the lettering for that. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So what do you use to letter that?
I just use Illustrator.
Okay. So you do the word balloons and everything?
Yeah. I mean, I have Clip Studio Paint, but I haven't looked into how to do lettering in it. So I just stick to what I know. It's a lot easier. A lot easier, a lot faster. So a lot less chance of me screwing it up.
I did it so many different. I did like I lettered by hand on paper, and then I scanned it in and then dropped it into word balloons that I made in like Clip Studio. But then I realized I could just do it in Clip Studio, everything in Clip Studio.
Right.
But I would actually, what I would do is first I was drawing the word balloons on my actual pages, comic pages. Then I would hand letter on a separate sheet of paper, scan it in, and drop it into the page.
Wow. Okay.
So I tried different techniques with that because I wanted to work on my hand lettering because I remember Alex Toth. Alex Toth is like every artist should hand letter their stuff. At least get proficient at it or whatever. And I'm like,
Who says that?
Alex Toth.
Oh, okay. Well, he's dead, so ignore
He was also awesome at it, man. Did you see his hand lettered like letters he
Yeah,
wrote to people?
I have one. Yeah, I have one of his books. What is it called? Alex Toth. What's the name of the book? Alex Toth by Design, I think.
Yeah, there's like 3 of those
Yeah,
books, right?
yeah. I got it like in 1993, 1994 when it first came out. The entire book is hand lettered by him. It's like all the text is just like
Yeah,
by him. I'm just like, this guy's nuts.
yeah, I know, man.
But it looks great. I mean, the guy's a phenomenal artist. He was hardcore.
Oh yeah, he's still a big influence on me. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
whenever I like have to design like a page or lay it out or something, or even when I'm drawing, I start thinking of like Alex Toth's like less is more type of thing. His approach, which was burned into him by his editor. I mean, the editors were so hardcore back then.
Right.
His editor actually took his page and ripped it up in front of him and said,
"Oh no,
you still don't get it. You're drawing too much," and made him do it over.
Oh, you're drawing. Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Yeah, and then finally he's starting to get it when he was doing less, because he was like, Alex Toth, he was just like, he would do these little thumbnail sketches.
Right.
He would do like little boxes like this, right? Like postage size stamp, right? Stamp size. And then he would like draw like scenery in them with like trees and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And he would try to figure out like how to get away with the least amount of work and still be readable, like a scene. He would just draw a whole like a scene, but real simple, just hardly anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering why he did that, because I'm like, that doesn't make sense. What's he doing? And I finally dawned on me, I'm like, well, he's a comic artist. He's got to draw small panels, but he's training himself how to get away with the least amount of lines as possible.
Right.
And the best way to do that really is drawing really small, because you're forced yourself to only draw minimal lines. Otherwise, it just looks like a blob, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, man, that is so good. Because I used to be like, my mindset as a kid, I used to be like super detailed, render everything,
Yeah.
And I was always like that type of I was always impressed by the crazy detail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I always even say. I would be like, look at the detail in that. And then I'm like, and then as I get older, I realized, it's harder drawing. It's harder drawing more clean, simple, because if you make one little mistake, you can read it really easy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like drawing Mickey Mouse's head. If
Right.
you're off on that round shape, it looks more obvious than if you're off on like anatomy of like someone's eyes or head. It's like you can kind of get away with being off a little bit more on realistic drawings.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as long as you know basic structure, I mean, you could be off a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I've seen guys who are really good that I respect their work and I love their work, and I've seen them do drawings where they're off on some things, and I didn't even care because it looks so good. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at like guys like Todd McFarlane, or who's the other guy? Stephen Platt. Remember him from the '90s?
Oh yeah.
When he did Moon Knight.
I actually bought some I bought some back issues of his.
Yeah, but it's just like overload of like little piddly details. But you kind of don't care because it just looks cool,
Yeah.
The overall effect. It doesn't. It's super detailed, but it's not super busy, which is kind of. I've seen some artists where I look at their artwork and it's really busy and detailed. What's his name? Jeff. I can't remember his name. He worked for DC for a while, but I think part of the problem with his work was that he just did all contour. It was all lines. He rarely spotted blacks, so you couldn't tell any differentiation between like foreground or background or middle ground. So it all got lost in the sea of like little details, and it just ended up looking like a flat kind of line mess.
Yeah.
Anything to separate one item from another.
Yeah, that's the trick of it, is like being able to create form, with just very few lines is so difficult. That's why I'm always impressed by like Toth and guys like that who can just use minimal lines and everything looks like it has life to it. You're like, whoa, you know?
Right. Yeah.
That's the trick of it, man, is coming up with that.
Hmm.
And that's why I feel like I'm still working on like trying to get better at like all the times I'm trying to create
Hmm.
um, form, and also trying to get quick, right? So I've been like for my sketching, I'll do super loose sketching lines, and then I try to ink on top of it and try to just do it one.
Hmm.
Like even the hand, I try to redraw the hand just straight in like an ink, and it might not look perfect, but I'm trying to get myself to accept that some things which won't look perfect,
Yeah.
because especially doing comics, people are going to look at your comic panel for maybe a few seconds, like 5 seconds. They're not going to, unless the hand looks really, really wonky, they don't give a care if it's off a little bit because they're not even going to read it. They're just going to read what the character's doing. Like, for instance, this kid, he's running with like a bottle,
Hmm.
right? But it's like they're not looking. Is that hand drawn? Like, is that really a really well
Or
drawn hand? You know, right?
or or they'll be looking at it for decades, like Jack Kirby's and Alex Toth's work. So
Yeah, but they don't
and
look at the
looking at it through
panels.
live streams.
It, except they don't look at the panels. Well, maybe artists do, like we do. We look at the panels, right? We look at them for hours, right?
Or like Rob Liefeld's work, and
Yeah, yeah,
making web blogs about it.
yeah, man. It's funny because it's like I remember how like Rob Liefeld super huge, right? But then he people there's also a crowd that would make fun of him. But
Yeah,
now it's back to like he's like there's a blog of people just love his stuff because
yeah,
and they
I
love it maybe in a way like they like sometimes they like Nicolas Cage or something like that, right?
right.
It's like but they still like it because why it has an appeal to it. It has like energy to it, it has life to it that makes you go, whoa, it's crazy, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I can just imagine like Rob Liefeld, like back. I guess when was this? I guess it was back in the '90s, and he drew that Captain America. You know that really infamous one where he got that huge barrel chest,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he draws it, and someone says that doesn't look right. He says, "Ah, don't worry about it. People only look at it for 5 seconds anyway." And
Does
like,
he really? Does he?
huh?
Did he really?
No, I can imagine him saying that in
Oh,
response.
see, that's my response, right?
Yeah, right. That's your response. And I'm like, thinking it's like 30 years later, people are still like posting it online,
Well,
pointing out all the mistakes in it.
well, that's the thing is if you're doing a cover,
Yeah.
that was a cover, right? Was that a
Um,
cover or
it probably was, or it was like a promotional poster.
or
Guess.
yeah, or a splash page, anything like that? You
Yeah,
got to make sure because people are going to stare at that for a longer period of time, which is funny. It's just one image, but
yeah,
maybe probably because it is one image. But it's like if you do a cover or like a poster or like a pinup, you got to make sure that's like kicking butt because it's like yeah, people are going to stare at it. But like the panel where it's a little panel with a guy running.
yeah.
The most important thing I think they get across is does it have life and energy to it?
Right.
Does it
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's moving? Doesn't matter if the hand's perfect, the foot's perfect, the
yeah.
whatever. As long as it looks like it's movement,
Hmm.
they'll let it pass. But if that was like a poster or just like a kid just drawing like that, they'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what the heck?"
You know who's
I
really
would
good?
have to, do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who's really good at that? Ron Garney.
Oh, Ron Garney.
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah, actually he's friends with me on Facebook.
Oh, cool. Yeah, but his work. I mean, I loved his Captain America and his Silver Surfer when he was on those books.
Yeah.
It was the line work was very minimalistic in a sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of detail, and it was just like very dynamic contour lines. And I was amazed how much he can get in, how much content he can get into his pages with so few lines in the figures. It was just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was very cool. So
That's cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the guys like that. I appreciate. Like another guy who I appreciate anymore was Ron Wagner.
Ron Ron Wagner. You
He
talking
did
about?
a he did a comic. Was it uh the Nth Man? Why the Nth Man or something like that? And then he did a bunch of stuff. He did for Marvel like Punisher and stuff back in the '90s,
Really? Okay.
maybe the '80s. I've been buying a bunch of back issues, and
Hmm.
I saw his stuff, and I was just like,
He's
man,
an artist.
oh yeah, artist, yeah,
Huh.
yeah. He did like some issues of Punisher that Mike Baron wrote,
Okay. Cool.
and then but yeah, why the Nth Man? It's like a guy with white hair. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be like you remember that one?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And so like he did that, and yeah, man, his stuff.
Was that the ninja guy?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was just called the Nth Man.
I think that's Nth Man. Yeah, the Nth
Okay,
Man.
okay. Yeah, I think you're confused with
Why is he a different one?
why the Last Man.
Well,
Yeah,
the Last Man. Yeah.
yeah, Nth Man. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Man, that he did also. What did he do? He did some GI Joe issues, I think. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he did GI Joe,
Mm-hmm.
and man, yeah, his stuff, man. It's like it's so deceptively simple if you look at it. Really strong storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and yeah, it's like I appreciate that stuff more. Like when I was a kid, I probably would have looked at it and it wasn't flashy enough for me or something. But now I look at it and I'm like, wow, man, he's putting out the work, you know.
Yeah.
I appreciate like different artists. I appreciate more now as I get older. I'm like, man, these guys, especially when you're doing it yourself, you know,
Right.
you appreciate it more. Even artists that I didn't really respect, maybe their art at the time, I'm like, that's hard work, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's putting in hard work. It's not easy
Yeah.
doing comics.
No, it's not.
Nope.
I used to always make fun of certain artists, and then when I tried it myself, I was like, "Ooh, damn."
Yeah. That's just how it was for me. I'm like, I'm not making fun of these guys, man. These guys are. This is tough, you know. Yeah, man. When I started working, like doing my first comic job, I was all excited, like, yeah, I just got hired, and then I realized I haven't really drawn many comic pages. Like, I just did sample pages for people, and I maybe did like, 5, 6, 7 page stories here and there once in a while. But to do an actual whole comic, I'm like, all of a sudden I started freaking out a little bit. I'm like, crap, I got hired to do a comic. Now I'm like on the center stage, and then I'm like, this is hard, man. I realized too when I was drawing it, I'm like,
yeah.
I can't draw worth anything. I was like, I think drawing a comic made me realize how inadequate I was as an artist.
Yeah.
And so like it forced me to get better because I had to draw even when I didn't feel like it or when I felt like deflated because I was like,
if you don't want to draw.
Yeah, and it felt like it put like a mirror up to my face, so to speak, and just showed me how I really was as an artist.
Yeah.
You know, what level I was at.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got a Hiroshi Paradox. I've seen you before, Hiroshi Paradox. I don't see like an icon art or anything, so maybe if I see the icon, it's just an H.
Yeah.
He says car insurance stuff is a scam. That's what I say, man.
What's the scam?
Car insurance.
Oh, car insurance. Oh, yeah. But yeah,
it is, man.
You need it though, so.
yeah. You need it. That's what I'm saying. I think what's a really big scam too is like the tow companies when they tow your car.
Oh yeah, they are definitely.
That's like basically they steal your car and ransom it for money.
Exactly. That's
and it's legal.
Yeah.
It's like I can see if it's like you're parked like in front of like but it's like all these little signs they put up that you might not see, and it's just a normal area to park where everyone's parked. But for some reason, you're parked. It says only parking from this time to this time. I'm like, oh come on. Or you don't have a sticker to park in this area when there's no sign that says, like, yeah. So, but yeah, man.
It's all scam, man.
Yeah. He also said, I started reading a book on lettering by Blambot guy.
Oh, cool.
I think it sounded like he's saved the lettering as a separate file and publisher might combine it all in InDesign file.
Well, that's how I do it. I mean, I'm lettering in Illustrator, and then I export it as an EPS file, and I drop it into InDesign in the layout. So the art is separate. That's placed in the layout for the book, and then the lettering is separate, and I drop that in on top of the artwork.
Yeah.
In InDesign.
Okay. Yeah, Hiroshi says he used to draw along with Drawn and Quartered now and then. Yeah, I remember. That's what I remember.
Cool.
I remember that name. I might have voted for your piece or honorable mention or whatever at the time because I remember saying that name, Hiroshi Paradox. You don't forget that name. It's a memorable one. Just like Jiminy Cricket.
Exactly.
And Amy Lester. And Christina Lynn.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember all those names. It's funny. It's like I have to force myself to remember names. I don't know about you, but as an artist, I remember faces, but names, I got to really say them over and over, and then it's stuck in my head.
I usually just associate the person's name with something else I already know, like
Yeah, that's true. That's what I do.
like a comic book character or a cartoon character, and then
Like an image sticks in your head, right?
yeah, that image sticks in my head. So whenever I see that person, that that cartoon character I associated with, it's like, oh yeah, you're Lion-O. I remember you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's how I do it, man. That's an artist thing, I guess, because
yeah.
I have to visually make a visual image in my head of what it is that person's name makes me think of, and then I remember it.
Right.
Let's see. And all this guy's head. Another thing too, like drawing, I have to really focus on is humor. Like when I'm drawing certain things, like because I get so into the storytelling,
Right.
that I realize I need to make this humorous. So I employ some of those manga humorous like storytelling things where they draw a real cartoony face or something.
Right.
And there's so many ways of doing that. So I'm still trying to figure out how far to take mine, but I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'm starting, get an idea of what I want, I should say.
Hey, Becky's here.
Becky.
She's probably right behind you, so.
No, she's at work.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
She's like sitting next to you on her laptop. It's like, yeah, she's right next to you.
Hey, lovely people. Hey, lovely Becky. I used to be good with names until I went to college and met a million people. Christina says she went to college, met a million people. Now she's not good at names.
It broke her brain. It broke her memory.
There's a way to actually. There's someone, I can't remember who it was. There's a system where they show you how to memorize names, and this guy remembers every person's name he's met, even if he's only met him once or something. I'm like, it's wild.
I don't have time for that.
It's good. I am impressed when people do that, because there's people I met where I met them and like 5 minutes later they remember my name, right? And I'm bad sometimes. I'm like that. But if I don't remember the name 5 minutes later, I'll make a point of like actually asking for the name again and apologizing, because like I said, I want to remember your name.
That's what I do.
But if it's like Seinfeld though, if it goes too long in between like hearing their name, and I'm like, I feel like I can't ask because I feel like I should know the name by now, and I feel like it'd be insulting them. So I try to figure it out or ask somebody else,
Right. Yeah.
And then it's like yeah, I'm like, I've been around this person too much now. I can't just ask their name. It's past that point, man. The point of no return.
Matt, what's your wife's name again? I forget.
Yeah. I try to do it like in a way where it's like, I try to be, smooth, where I'm just like, oh yeah, man, I really like his work. And the person goes, and they'll be like, you mean John's? I'm like, yeah, John, man, great stuff.
Oh man.
And then I get the name pulled out, or hey man, I can't believe he did that. He goes, who? Well, John? I go, yeah, or whatever his name is. I go, yeah, that's John. I can't believe, I try to pull it out of somebody without being too conspicuous.
Now I'm wise to it. So every time you say that, I'll say, who's he? Who do you mean?
Yeah, who's he, Matt? I'm like,
Matt,
I go, and then I'll be like, you don't know his name, Jason?
I know his name. His name. Sure.
I don't believe it. And then I turn it around, make it so like, yeah, you don't know his name.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I go, okay, guess the first letter of his name, maybe, if you know then prove it, say the first letter of his name, and then like, see, I pry a little bit.
When's his
first and last?
What's his middle name, Matt?
Yeah. What's his last name?
No.
Hey, it's Grant V.V. Cosby.
Oh,
Crosby.
Yeah. How you
Grant
doing,
Crosby.
Matt? Good seeing you.
Yeah, hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So, how much further do you have for modded?
I have, like I said, we keep adding pages, but I think I'm at page 40, I think 45 now.
Cool.
So it was supposed to be like 50. I think it was supposed to be 48-page book, but I'm already almost. I got still about at least 10 pages left, so they added 10 pages more.
That's pretty close.
So it's probably gonna be about a 58-page book, I'm thinking.
Okay, cool.
But it might be a little more. It might go beyond that. So.
Right. So 100 pages.
Yeah, there you go. No, well, I'm gonna do some splash pages, so it will go up a little quicker. But I wanted to do splash pages with the action scenes with the champion and
Right.
motorcycles and shooting guns and jumping, and I want to make it like really cool. But I'm gonna do it traditionally.
Yeah, like Alan Davis in the Nail.
The nail?
You ever read the Nail? From
No.
DC Comics? Oh, man, you need to get that. It came out probably 20 years ago, but it's there's Nail and there's the Nail 2, and both series, whenever there's like a big action set, he would just make the whole thing like a splash page, like Superman like busting someone's head, or the Flash like vibrating someone's brain out of their skull. He would like make that like a splash page, and it was so cool. It's like, oh, neat. And he did for each one of the heroes. So each one of the heroes got their own splash page somewhere in the story.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Each one of them is like doing something really, really awesome. So it's cool.
Yeah, I like that, man. See, that's what I always looked forward to. Like the old school comics like Marvel, where they would always, the first page might be like a splash page, or it might be just like a page leading up to the next page is a splash page, right? Or 2-page spread to introduce like the story. It would open with a bang, right?
Yeah.
I kind of like those gimmicks.
Mm-hmm. Give the people what they want.
Yeah. That's right.
Who's this dude up in the corner?
Actually, it's he's the Chinese ambassador, but I have to get a reference for him because I can't remember exactly how he looks. Let's see. Here he goes. See. That's him right there. See?
Yeah.
He cracks me up.
Oh, he gave me.
I gave him the bull hair. I've been watching Korean shows, right?
Yeah.
And there was this episode of this one funny show, and everybody had bull haircuts like that. Like everybody, guys, women. It was hilarious. Because the point was like, it was like he was at a wedding and he was trying to figure out who the groom was. And then the bride was like, before the groom showed, she's like, he's the one with the bull haircut, and everybody had a bull haircut, and he's like, oh man, and it was just great. He kept trying to figure it out. Even like the photographer taking the wedding photos had a bull haircut.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, let's see. I just gotta jot down. But this is what the photographer looked like. He had kind of this look, glasses, little chubby guy he's great, man. I love faces. I like seeing different faces.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to watch myself because sometimes I'll be studying people and looking at them in public, and I'll just be smiling because I'm imagining drawing their face and I'm like, man, that's a great face. But then I'm like, I don't want people to be insulted because I'm not making fun of them. I actually like their face.
Right. Yeah.
Like I actually, like for me, the faces, I just like the way they look no matter what. I mean, the round, thin, like, it just, to me, it's just like so, life would be boring if everybody had the same, chiseled jaw and, dashing features or beautiful. It's like, there's beauty in every like different type of like, I used to think that was like a cliche thing to say, but I actually believe it. I believe there's so many, and I know that's what God thinks too. Like God's like, people say God's got a sense of humor. Look at that guy he made, and I'm like, no. He's like, I think God just goes, I just like the difference. I like the way your face looks. It looks unique.
Yeah.
It's just fun faces, man. It'd be a boring world, like I said, if everybody looked the same.
Yeah, if every woman looked like Jennifer Connelly, that'd be awful.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it'd be horrible.
You know why? Because then your face would be the norm, and it would be like she's bland looking.
Say again?
Her face would be the norm, and she'd be considered bland. But because she's not the norm, then it's like, wow, you like see a face that looks like that.
Yeah.
I got to say, I'm not like a person who's like I'm not a person who's like mesmerized by like a beautiful face, right? Like if I see someone that's really good looking, I'm like a woman, I'm like, wow, she's pretty, and then I just move on. I don't like go. I can obsess like like when I was single, I wasn't like, man, I gotta ask this girl out. I was like, man, she's beautiful. Then I just turn around and walk away. I I wasn't like, man, I got to talk to her. I was like, that wasn't like a motivator for me. If she was actually like funny and like had a like really great we connected, like talking, then
Yeah.
I'd be like, wow, this girl's something, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got to say, it get my attention? I'd be like, wow, she's pretty, get my attention, but they wouldn't keep my attention, right?
Right.
And so like I remember I was at the dent, but there's an exception. I think it threw me off. I was at the dentist, and I had a Chinese dentist, Dr. Wong.
David
And
Volkart.
You know what? No, he didn't. He didn't. he had a nice style hair, but it's funny is he worked his work on me, but then for some reason he had a doctor that just got hired on, another dentist, and she was like came in and she was going to work on me instead, and she was wearing a mask, right? A doctor's mask. And she was talking to me for like 10 minutes with a doctor's mask, and she was real nice and made me laugh stuff, but we're just kind of talking. And then she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." She's like, "I'm wearing my mask." I didn't even, when I first introduced myself, I didn't even like, I should, show my face. And she took it off, and she was so pretty that I was like, started like stuttering my words when I started talking. I was like, I was like, and I was like, and then and then how you feel super self-conscious where you're like, crap, and it's like, and I felt so stupid. I'm like, I never get mesmerized by that, but it just kind of, I guess, shocked me that her face was so pretty. I was like,
gorgeous.
Yeah. As a Chinese lady, I was just like, man. And like, and then I just felt stupid after that. I was like, I gotta start redeeming myself here and start just talking about everyday things.
Right. Yeah.
And then it didn't help that her fingers were in my mouth and I'm like,
oh man.
Or you're drooling all over the place.
You're impressing her.
Yeah. I kept my drool to a minimum. I impressed her.
You impressed her with your lack of cavities.
Yeah.
Your dental hygiene impressed her greatly.
I was only like 20 or something, so I was just,
I remember my first job out of college. I worked at a place. We were basically, drawing licensed characters like Marvel and DC and Looney Tunes for clothing, for a clothing line. And one of the women who worked there, it was a family-owned business. One of the owner's fiancés would work there as well, and she was drop dead gorgeous. And so I never talked to her because when someone is, when someone's so attractive that, like you said, they make you uncomfortable. It's like because you don't know it makes you nervous. I don't know why that is.
What's weird is like I never got nervous with that one lady. She made me nervous only because she threw me off, and that's what made me feel embarrassed and nervous after that. But I don't get like nervous around really good looking women. I think even when I was single, I was like, I think maybe because I just figured there wasn't going to be anything that would even be remotely a chance between us. Not because like she was better than me, but because I just wouldn't pursue anything. I was like, I'm gonna focus on my art,
Right. Yeah.
But maybe that's why I was just like, But yeah, I know what you mean though. And you're like, I would also, I don't want to I'll cut you off there. Sorry. So did you ever talk to her?
I did. A few points I did, but I made a point of, because she was so attractive, everyone was always paid attention to her. So I made a point of not paying attention to her.
Oh, I've done that.
So, and she seemed to, I guess in a way, appreciate it because I think everyone else was sort of fawning over her, and I kind of just didn't talk to her. I think I had maybe one conversation with her over the course of like a year and a half. And she was very nice, but I just didn't feel comfortable talking with her. And part of the reason was because she was a fiance of one of the owners. I was like,
oh, I see.
I'm like, it's probably better if I just
I
head down and do my work. I don't want her. I want her fiance seeing me talking to her, and then,
You know what? I understand that because I actually have to work on this. I actually started working on it, but I had a bad habit of like I wanted to be respectful to like that type of thing. That's kind of like you were thinking about the fiance and everything.
Right.
So, but I would get into a bad thing where I would like if I would talk, I would see the guy and the woman. I would
Right.
talk to the guy, and then after it was all said and done, I realized I didn't even say anything to the woman. You know,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, I felt bad. I'm like, I realized I was trying to be like
Well, she's
trying to
female,
use.
so why should you?
Yeah, I try to use respectful etiquette, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I end up being like just rude, and I'm like,
Yeah.
when I thought about it, and then I think what made me really realize that was watching an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David,
Uh-huh.
and he did the same thing. Like he would talk to an actor at a restaurant, like, "Hey, how's it going?" And as he's sitting with his wife eating, and he's
Yeah.
talking with him and everything, and then he just left, and then his wife goes, "You didn't even say hi to his wife," and I was like, "He's like, what? No, I did." And he's like, "No, you didn't." And he's just like, "Oh man," he's like, he just felt bad, and I'm like, and the wife was just kind of like thought this guy's a snob, you know.
Yeah.
And then I just when he did that, I go, you know what? I don't do that either. I'm like, man, I got to work on this.
Yeah.
And I think it's like when they're married or whatever, I would not,
Hmm.
because I think in the past I've actually had situations where I would talk to like a married woman,
Uh,
and I would talk to her just because I'm like, oh, there's no pressure. She's married.
right.
There's not, and it was easy to talk to her. But then I realized maybe I'm kind of, one guy I talked to one guy's girlfriend, and he got so mad that I was talking with her, and I wasn't even like trying to. I was just talking, and
Right.
I work with her,
Yeah.
and he worked in another department the store I worked at, and
Uh-huh.
when I had a laptop computer in my hand, and I was going over to his department to ask some questions, and he
Yeah.
walked by and like
Knocked out
slapped the computer, not almost knocked the computer out of my hands,
Oh man.
like on purpose. He's just like blatantly shows, bam,
Uh,
and like I was like, whoa! I fumbled it and caught and kept it, and then he just kept walking. And this guy goes, "Whoa, what'd you do to him?" And I was like, "Nothing, man." And then I found out his girlfriend's the one I've been talking to,
uh,
and I'm like, "Oh, now I see."
mm,
Because
got
I
you.
would, like I said, I was just talking to you. I work with her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The coworker. So I was like,
That's how you met Becky.
yeah. And then I said, "Well, since he did that, he's gonna lose out." No.
Just for that, I'm gonna take your girl.
What's funny is like, I think I'm so old school that I would even respect relationships of like if it was a boyfriend girlfriend, I wouldn't even like I would never like how you like I don't if a woman's married, of course you're not gonna
Right.
try to talk to her, mess with her or anything. But I was even that way with boyfriend girlfriend, and I was like, oh, I can't talk,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah,
I just I think it's partly because I know how I would feel if someone was getting too friendly with my girlfriend. I'd probably be annoyed.
yeah. I don't know. It's funny. It's like I with Becky,
Yeah.
I don't find myself getting like if she talks. I think I'm more cautious
Hmm.
when she's talking to somebody.
Right.
Like if they're like but if I can tell they're pretty cool and they're just like laid
Yeah.
back.
If they're obviously just friends, that's fine.
Yeah, you could tell. I think you could tell. Like some
Yeah.
guys can't tell; they just think everyone's making a move, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I can tell. Like, and I think, like you said, but you can tell if something seems a little like the guy's a little bit too.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh no, I just think I erased my drawing. Dang it.
Can you just hit undo? There you go. Bam.
Yeah, but if I undo, it'll undo the drawing I just did.
No, just undo the point where you.
This is what I'll do. I'm gonna do this. Watch this.
Oh, you erased the whole thing, Matt. No.
No.
I'm
No,
starting over.
Watch this. I just realized I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I like this drawing I did, but if I undo it, it's gonna undo the drawing I did and redo the old ones. So I'm gonna do control cut, control B. See, there we go. So I just pasted it up here.
Okay.
Okay, now I gotta undo everything here. So let's watch. Let's see what I'm talking about. See the drawings. Oh, okay. Wait, I didn't have to undo it too much. Here we go. So I just erased it all at that point.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
See,
Grant Crosby says that the beak one looks sort of like a Nomu What's a nomu?
The Nomu?
Not familiar with nomu. Nomu.
Nomu. I know that word. That I just can't think of what it.
You have to Google it now. Thanks, Grant Crosby, making me work.
No, he could tell us, right? Inform us. We're momentarily ignorant of that word.
No, I'm looking it up. My Hero Academia.
Oh, Nomu.
Yes. Powerful monsters created from human corpses.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about the big,
Okay, no, I got you. Yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah,
pumped up guy.
yeah. That's the nomu.
Oh, because it's the one where they're kind of like lifeless. They're very controlled. Like,
Yeah,
they have like buggy eyes or something.
right. Yeah, they have like eyes in their brains.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even think of that. Probably because I used a heavy shadow on this one,
Mhm.
which I usually don't do on. But I thought this is going to be a big, kind of his big moment,
Mm.
showing him sweaty and tired out and heavy moment.
Mm.
Nomu. Okay. Let's see. That's what I did. See, what I did was I put erase, delete, because I wanted to delete the underdrawing of this guy, and I end up deleting all the line art that's not an underdrawing, like right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. You see, but look at how I did that. I actually did too much detail. Probably not, but I don't know.
That's
Looks
fine.
like,
That looks good.
you know how when you're drawing small
Yeah.
on digital and then
Yeah.
you shrink it out.
And they zoom out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do that too much. That's why I'm trying to zoom in too much.
Yeah.
I don't want that look where it's just like tiny drawings. It just looks kind of weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna read some comments before I. Hey, it's Gary Shipman.
Gary Shipman.
Hey, Gary. Hey, I hope you got my response on your Twitter message. I just seen you message me on Instagram too, but I hope you. I don't know which one you read more frequently or check more frequently. Gary. Yeah, Gary, man, he's tearing it up, man, with his Titan.
Oh yeah.
Mouse Tight, man. Man, those pages are looking sweet. I mean, that's strong work, man.
Where is? Oh, here.
If you haven't seen it, check out. If anybody's not familiar here, they're watching this video later. Gary Shipman Art. Check out his channel and his book, Titan Mouse and Light, man. It's great stuff.
Which one is Gary on? Number 2 or number 3? He's on number 3, right?
Yeah, I think so. He's cranking them out.
I think it's Miasma. Titan 3.
Yeah, Gary, are you on book 3? He's cranking it out, man. I got to get going. I got to follow Gary's example, man.
Exactly. You need to crank it out.
Yeah.
Get to work, Matt.
Yeah, I got to just crank it out and try to keep up the quality as at least near as great as Gary's is, man. This stuff is looking sweet. Okay, let's see. Got the characters, the background. I got to design that background. I'm going to focus on the characters, though. So I'm going to go to the next panel. I got them pretty much figured out, drawn out. Let's see. Yeah, let's work on this one. I probably should save, too. Here, I'm going to shut this down. This one, do not save. Boom. It's funny there. No, it's funny as like, yeah, even as like a kid or a teenager, I was in high school and it was kind of like you're saying, there's one girl who everybody fawned over, right?
Right.
Yeah. Fawning all over her, and I didn't, and I was just like, was kind of like basically kind of like I was friends with a lot of people, different people, but I just kind of kept to myself, did my drawing, and I would never just fawn over her, and I think it kind of bugged her a little bit.
Yeah.
So she tried to kind of like rip on me. So I kind of like jab her back, you know, and then like some people were like, they were like the people who liked her they liked me too, so they didn't really say much, but they were like, "Whoa, man, you're like you didn't care, you just." And I'm like, "Care about what?" And they go, and then she's like, she said, "What'd she say to me?" She goes, she thinks you think you're so cool, guys, so I gotta take you down a notch or something like that. That's what she said.
Oh, please.
And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, "I'm just like drawing comic stuff. I don't think." And plus, when I was a teenager, they wasn't considered cool at all, right?
Yeah.
But I guess around her, I was just kind of like I didn't, fawn all over. So I just yeah. And then I gotta put myself back up a few notches where it belongs, something like that. Something like that. I don't know. I was just, he was a kid, and I remember that we had back and forth, but I ended up like being friends with her.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Yeah, it's like, but I just, is it even then, like if some girl tried to bat her eyes and try to get me to do something, like, could you do this for me? And I'm like, no, I can't. Like, what? They get so ticked off, man.
Yeah.
I was like, don't. I would actually be like Mr. Horse in the Ren and Stimpy, where each get mad,
Exactly.
I'm like, my reaction is just like, look at you, trying to. We think I'm stupid.
Girls manipulate you.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was friends with. I had female friends that were just like I got along with.
Yeah.
And I remember one. This is funny. I remember I had this one female friend. She was kind of like more like a tomboy in high school.
Yeah.
And she would play basketball, volleyball, and she was just like, I get to talk with her all the time, and we got along. And then I remember we were on a school field trip, and we were like in a small like van bus thing.
Right.
And I was sitting next to her talking, and then when we went on the amusement park rides, and like she had her hair kind of like in a way was kind of like not super stylish, but she got like on the log ride and her hair got all wet, and she had her hair was like straight, and like she kind of combed it to the side, but she did it in a way where all of a sudden like all these guys were all interested in her all of a sudden. So I remember she got into the bus to sit down. I start stepping in to go sit next to her, and as soon as I stepped into the bus, I felt someone tug on the back of my shirt and pull me back, and I like kind of fell back onto my feet out of the bus, and my friend like jumped up and sat next to her, and I was like, what the heck? He started like talking and flirting with her, and all of a sudden all those guys are talking to her, and I was like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
And then I dawned on me, I'm like, oh, her hair looks like it's all kind of like in her face. It kind of looks like, yeah, her hair's different. All of a sudden now they're like, oh, hey, And I was like, I just started laughing to myself, but it's funny because like he just pulled me back like without saying anything and just like jumped up, took my spot.
Yeah.
Like some movie, and he's like, hey, how's it going?
Hey, pretty
like,
lady, you knew him.
Yeah. I was like, seriously? Like, what the heck?
That's funny.
Yeah, I think she was smart too. She kind of started caught on, but she was actually kind of enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm actually still friends with her.
Good.
On Facebook, but she doesn't really on too much, so I don't really talk to her.
Right.
Much,
Yeah.
But no, it's funny is like she was always really super sweet, nice, and
yeah.
Oh, now I gotta get a reference here again. Oh, wait. I think I got it. I was also, it's funny at that time, I think, look back at it, I think I was of the persuasion that I didn't believe that men and women could be friends,
What?
And what's funny is I didn't even think about it. I look back and I'm like, I had a friend that was female.
Yeah.
I guess I know it's like I didn't think of her as just like a girl. I don't know. I knew she was a girl, but I mean, I guess I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why, but I had that strong. I kind of kept that belief for a while. I believe they can be friends to an extent, but not like, I guess buddy friends. Like
it's
best friend.
Yeah,
Especially if you're married. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I have female friends who, I was pretty close to when I was single, but once I became married, I'm still friends with them, but there has to be some sort of
not to the extent that you were before.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of distance between you because it's too weird. It's too
Yeah. It's just because it's not even about like tension or anything. It's about just how things look, right? The optics of things.
It mainly, you need to be considerate about how your spouse might feel.
Yeah.
So because this friend, I would go to the movies with her all the time. I can't do that when I'm married.
No. Yeah, people would be like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Yeah, it's like, we go to the movies like once a week or so, and we never dated, but we did this for years, and she and her boyfriend came to our wedding and everything, but
Oh, that's cool.
but we don't hang out like that anymore. So
Yeah. See, I think there's some people who are in this false assumption. I think that
mhm.
they can do it. I mean, I guess there's something like if you're like a childhood friend,
Yeah.
but even then, you still got to be careful. I think, you know,
Um,
gotta be you got to be like careful, like because of like you said, misunderstandings
yeah.
and it depends on the spouse and I don't know. But
Yeah.
like I have some friends who I grew up with, they're females, but
Mhm.
I don't hang out or talk with them like all the time or anything. But I'm friendly with them because I kind of think of them as like cousins,
Right. Yeah.
So I guess if in that regard it's like a cousin,
Mhm.
I mean, legitimately, I mean they feel like they are just
Mhm.
cousins. I mean, well, maybe not so much now, but I mean,
Yeah.
because I don't know, we had a falling out with some. I
Oh.
had a falling out with
Oh.
they kind of hate my guts, so
Oh man.
yeah, it's bad. It's like I don't know, it's just so sad because I
Yeah.
don't hate them, but
Yeah.
it's all the political
What'd you
stuff.
do? What'd you do, Matt?
I just being myself.
No, Matt. Why? Why couldn't you
Why
be?
did I do? Why'd you do that? Yeah, I know. I know I should know better.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's like I can understand, I guess, to that regard.
Mhm.
But no, yeah, you got to be careful. And
Yeah.
like I said, when I got married, I'm like
Mhm.
still new to this, so I'm like,
Yeah.
there's things that I knew.
Only gets better, Matt. Only gets better.
Yeah, it's like we get along so good, Becky and
Yeah.
I. It's like we've been married a year and a half now,
Uh-huh.
and year and a half in December, and it's like, oh, here's Mike's here, Mikey.
Oh, Mikey.
Add Mikey to the stream.
Hello.
Mikey.
The
How you
original
doing?
Mikey, Jiminy Cricket.
Hey, Mikey. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, good.
I just listening to the stories here.
I kept looking to see if you were there, and I kept checking once in a while, and then I forgot for a
I
little
was
bit.
having problems. I had to basically clear my history and then go back into it.
Mm.
Yeah, trying to, I was trying to get in earlier, but it just my mic wasn't coming on, and it said, if you have something in, I don't know, some app that I used or something.
Mhm.
I think I used another camera app. It was like hooked up to it, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't unhook, so I just had to like delete my history.
Mm. Gotcha.
It's weird.
Yeah, that's how it is with computers, man.
Yeah.
There's always something, but
Almost,
you figure it out.
yeah. It's
Was
funny.
it?
I was listening to your thing where you said like, you know, uh, girls trying to get free things.
Right.
It's like that never works out because when I remember I used to draw people and I draw really cartoony. So
Right.
when they go draw me and then you draw them and they go, hey, how would you like it if somebody drew you? Like they're offended. And you're like, wow, I didn't even want to do this, man.
You asked me.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're offended, and I'm like, this sucks. I didn't want this. So yeah, I learned that it's better not to draw people if they ask.
Yeah.
So like it gets people get offended a lot easier than they think they do.
Mhm.
But it's funny as too as I had once best story about somebody getting mad that I didn't want to draw anything for because I learned my lesson and I
Yeah.
still got in trouble when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And this is the one that kind of always reminds me not to draw people for free.
Yeah.
And I was in high school. This girl seen that I did at somebody else's project, and but the girl paid me, the other girl.
Right.
So I was like, cool, I'll do it, And then also I just told her, hey, you won't be picking, no, whatever, And so I was like, sure. I drew the project for her folder presentation, and so she was super happy. And the other girl seen it and was like, dude, I want him to draw mine. So she comes up to me, but she's she's a really picky person, and I
Right.
didn't like her anyways because
yeah.
I thought I was pretty funny in
Yeah.
school, and I could make the entire class laugh, even the teacher. And the teacher's doing spit takes, trying to drink their coffee, and she would be the only one just straight faced, like, what?
Oh boy.
What's so funny? And so I just automatically, I was like, I don't like this girl. I don't want to do anything for her. So I was like, and I didn't mention the price or nothing. I just don't want to do it for her because she doesn't think I'm funny. That was my source of pride in at school.
Right. Yeah.
I'm funny, So I remember like the guy sitting next to me who wasn't my friend. He ended up being a psycho later, but I'll get him that later. But he goes, hey, maybe if you say pretty please a whole bunch of times and put your hands together, maybe he'll draw it for you. And then, so she did that, and I go, hey, no, I'm not gonna draw it. Stop doing that. Don't tell her that. And then he goes, maybe if you get on your hands and knees, say pretty please, he'll draw it for you. And so she keeps listening to him, and I'm like, he has nothing to do with it. Don't listen to him. and she keeps doing everything he says, right?
Dang.
And I'm like, stop it. No, man, I'm not gonna do it. Just get out of here. Don't embarrass yourself like that, And then he's like, maybe if you get out, he goes, say pretty please, and then lick his shoes.
Stop it.
He'll draw it for you. And bear in mind, this girl looks like a preppy, so I'm thinking she's not going to do that. And so I think I wouldn't even have to say don't do that, right? She gets on her hands and knees and licks my top of my shoe.
Dang.
And I'm like, dang it, I don't want to be doing this, and I don't want to like get blamed for this nonsense. So I go, no, I'm not going to do it. Who told you to do it? I even tried to push her away, and she was like, grabbed top of my shoe, licked it.
You should have asked her out.
No. I really didn't like her that much.
You missed a perfect. You just saw a girl who would do anything for a drawing from you. You just passed that out.
If you lick my shoe, you definitely go out.
Exactly. I'm gonna go see a movie with me. You gotta lick my feet. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, what would you rather do?
So then I said, no, man, I told him I could do what. Get out of here, man. And then all of a sudden she just blew up when she realized what she did. And then she's not getting a drawing. She goes, I hate you. And she took all my stuff and with two arms flung it off my desk across the room.
Dang.
And I was just like shocked because this person is usually super quiet and reserved.
Right,
and everybody's like, and I was just like, whoa. And then he was like, oh.
Dodge a bullet.
Yeah, he dodged a bullet away.
And then I was like, dude, you're the one that she should have threw your stuff across the room. But it's funny, if I tell too much, everybody know who it is because it was at a private school at the time. I went to private school.
Just tell us her name.
Yeah.
It's like that Jewish rabbi Mike in
Elaine. I would say her name was Elaine, and her friend George.
Let's just say her name was Elaine.
Much of him, kind of a loser. but totally, that's what was going on. I was like, oh man, I can't draw this for her, and I don't want to. And I didn't see. I want to say more, but it'll give away who it is.
Yeah,
it's like all these years later, and I don't know. I didn't tell anybody except for the guy that witnessed it. He's seen it, of course, but I didn't tell anybody back then because I didn't want to.
Mikey, don't worry about it. Nobody watches Match Channel anyway, so.
Okay.
Yeah. No, don't say it. Don't say it.
Say it.
No. Because there's people on Facebook who might see it.
Let's have a poll. How many people in the room think I should say it?
Don't say it. Don't listen to Jason. You start in trouble.
Who thinks I should give a little clue who it was? Yeah.
I do.
They don't know. They don't even know anyway.
I was 15. So yeah.
Yeah, just a teenager.
Yeah,
can you hear the music?
Yep.
Is it too loud? Let me know.
It's loud, but I don't know about too loud.
A little too loud. Matt.
Is that better?
Yeah, because we want to be able to hear Mikey when he gives us her name.
Oh man.
So what was people's opinion? I should give my
No.
give up the
No,
dirt.
you don't want to. Just because, like I said, there's people who on Facebook who never watch
Yeah.
my videos, but some reason will watch it now.
Uh,
Just because
know?
we said that.
Yeah, just the timing is like, are you kidding me? You never watch my videos, and all of a sudden now
Yeah.
you watch.
That is
I actually
funny.
did that. I did that once. I never watched this one person stream like really too much, and
yeah.
then for some reason I just tuned in, and they started talking trash about me, and I was like, what the heck?
Your spider sense was tingling.
Yeah, it was weird. And I was like, and I got mad at first, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. I was gonna say something. I go, what am I? I'm not gonna say anything. And then it ended up working out though. But it was funny. I was like, what?
Yeah, it does sound like a shoujo manga thing.
It does, doesn't it? It doesn't even
Yeah.
sound. Yeah, it does sound like it wasn't even be real, but it was real.
When
man.
it happened, I was just like in shock, and so I was just like, whoa. You know, because like I said, the person was very quiet person normally.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect the shoe licking, and I didn't expect to throw my stuff across the room either. That was all like, you know, even the guy that was encouraging that nonsense was like shocked. He
was like,
he didn't say
we just-
anything afterwards. He was just like, whoa.
he's like, oh, cross the line here.
I was like, I even kept telling him, why didn't you get your stuff thrown? You know, I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. It's like, look what you did, man.
Yeah.
Like I had no beef with this girl, and now. Dang, I'm gonna have to get a reference here. Let's see.
Yeah, I can't even say like things that I didn't do in order to not be around this person because there's like, you know how in school people go to different parties and stuff like that. Anytime I knew that the person was at those parties, and I didn't hate the person, I just was like, I felt as a kid, you know how you only have certain things you feel confident about.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can draw pretty decent, and I'm funny, and that's what I felt confident about. I'm funny.
Right.
And then, but because she never laughed at anything I said, no matter how many people laughed, I was like, I don't even want to be around this person. You know? So anytime there was like any event that where I knew that she was going to be there too with a bunch of people, I was like, I'm not going. Yeah. I don't even want to be around this person. Yeah? And then I remember people made a big stink of it, you know, that I didn't go later on, so, you know, because they'd be like calling me and harassing me, like, "Why aren't you here?" And I didn't want to put some blame on her. I just like, I don't feel like going. Yeah.
I'm scared of that chick who won't laugh at my jokes.
Well, I was like, that's where my confidence came from back then. I was like, that's all I have. You know, I'm funny.
No, but she had, I don't know, she didn't laugh at things that were like universally funny. She laughed at things that weren't like, you didn't mean it to be funny, and she started cracking up. And you're like, what? You know, like you laughed at that, but you didn't laugh at something else. Like, and so I was like, yeah, you didn't know what she would laugh at. And
maybe she was autistic.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that whole family was a little. You know.
Oh no, don't get into that.
All right. Yeah.
Jeez. Oh man.
Matt's like, your channel can't be broadcast to certain people from this school.
Yeah. Oh man. No, it's not. It's just funny. But no, yeah. It's funny though. Is like, as a teenager, I was like, I wasn't one of those guys who just fall for, you know, like the whole like, this is the hottest girl in school, and it's like, I'd be like,
why does Amy Lester say poor girl, poor girl?
Oh, because she had to lick your shoe.
All right.
And she got nothing out of it.
Oh man.
Except humiliation.
It does sound a little bit autistic, doesn't it?
Yeah. She was actually a really good student.
Yeah, that's why I said it threw you off. And
autism confirmed.
Yeah.
Well, and the person was actually pretty popular at that school.
Yeah, she was an athlete. Or, man, I'm
That's
getting
why
way
it
too
was
much
more
stuff.
shocking that they would act that way. You're like, what the heck?
Mhm.
Yeah. Like,
No, I got along with her, but yeah, man. It's funny though. There's some funny things I would tell people stories that happened growing up, and I was at lunch at work telling people, this is years ago, and then people would be like, "Whoa, what movie is this they're talking about?" I'm like, "No, this is what happened to me," and they're like, "What?" And then every time I start telling a story, they go, "Hey man, gather around, man! It's got a crazy stories to tell us again." This like crazy stuff happened, and I go, at the time I didn't think it was crazy. I thought it was just normal everyday stuff, and they're like, "No, man, this never happened to me." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Okay." It's like we just had this stuff happening on a regular basis that was just really out there, I guess. You know.
It's funny.
But yeah, it was like good times, man. It was like I think that's what was like inspiration for us as kids, Mike and I. We had so many weird things happening that we would just write stories that were just so weird because we lived the weird stuff, you know. Like there's one like when we were kids, we were playing. We loved to play army, so we had like toy guns and everything, right?
Right.
And we loved playing army. We were playing in the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy on a scooter moped comes racing down in our neighborhood wearing a helmet where you can't see his face. You know, it was like a black visor,
Right.
and he was like trying to like run us down or something with his scooter.
Huh.
Yeah, and so like we like when we could hear him coming around the neighborhood. Mike, we were only little kids. Mike went and grabbed my friend's garden hose and ran out to the street and like just blasted him right in the face
Oh man.
while he was and almost wiped them out.
Oh sheesh.
And oh my gosh, it was like. But I remember we were running like diving behind cars, and he was like ramping over like the sidewalks and everything. And it was so. And as a kid, I wasn't like terrified or anything. I didn't run to my mom and dad. We were just like, we got to handle this guy. You know, we're gonna handle. We were only like 10,
you
11.
You come into
old.
our neighborhood and trying to run us down.
We're just like little. When I look back at it, we were just grade school kids. We were like, okay, we got to deal with this guy. It is like we didn't run to mom and dad. I don't think we even told mom and dad.
Little mobsters.
Yeah, we were just like, let's deal with it. And Michael almost wiped him out. And the only thing when we almost wiped him out, we actually got like nervous, like crap. If he would have died right here, we could have been in trouble. That's all we cared about.
You're Jeff Potts. Yeah, me and Mikey put bras on our heads and used my computer to create a woman from a
How does he know about that? I didn't even tell that one yet.
Yeah, good times, man.
Oh man, we had such fond memories that people, even to this day, people would remember like growing up with them. They'd be like, "Remember when this happened? That was so crazy." And I go, "Yeah, yeah." And they're like,
yeah, but the thing is they remember it even more crazy than it really is. Like, it's already crazy enough to other people, but the people that we lived with and grew up with, that stuff happened with, they remember it like what? Like, didn't Mike, blow up a car? I'm like, I never did anything. It's like, what are you getting this from, man?
Mike's like, I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations not run out on that yet, so ixnay on the explode. No, man,
they have these really extreme versions of everything.
Remember that time Mikey and Matt buried that kid in the back?
Yeah.
We
where was that?
In a cornfield.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But it was us. We buried ourselves.
Yeah. What we did is we found this hole near a cornfield in the neighborhood that we lived in. So we go, and when there's all these grass clippings. So what we did is I buried Mike in the hole with the grass clippings, and we put like a handkerchief over his face so he could breathe, like in the ninja movies, right? And then we called one of our friends' older sisters over to show her something we found in the cornfield. So she came over to show it, and then we viewed it.
Bye, Grant V. Crosby. Bye.
What? Oh, Grant Crosby. See ya. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Hey, Grant. Take care.
Have a good one, man. Yeah, but we buried Mike's under the grass clippings, and then when she came by, the friend, we had a cue that we would do a cue for Mike to pop up, where he put his arms through the grass so like he came right out of the ground, right? Because I mean, it looked like perfect. It didn't even look like there was a hole or nothing. It was just like flush grass. And so like Mike's like, "Oh, I live," and puts his hands right through the grass. she took off running, screaming, like, and just kept running, like, home, like, screaming. It was just perfect.
She watched a lot of horror movies. We
Yeah.
as
We
little
never watched
kids,
any.
We watched, our horror movies were like Rambo and Predator and stuff like where it's tough guy horror movies. Like these guys are killing a lot of people. Like what is it? So she, dude, that's what I actually put it for Halloween. I said my favorite serial killer in a horror movie is Rambo, because you see that last Rambo, man, that was brutal.
Oh man, yeah,
man. But so she was so terrified, and whereas us, she tried to scare us, and nothing really scared us because we're like, I don't have anything to relate that to,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the thing that scared me was a dog loose that would chase you and try to rip you apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Good memories, man, of like growing up. Like I think Mike and I, we talked about stuff growing up so long that we would remember it. Like we would just, it was kind of like I can see how they in the past history people would pass down things by word of mouth,
Right.
Because you talk about it enough and share it enough, you just remember every detail. And some of the people we talk with, they didn't remember. They're like, how do you remember all that? And I'm like, Mike and I would talk about it a lot,
Right.
Talk about
because it'd make us laugh, and we'd be like, man, that's a good memory. And then like the only time, like I said, we ever felt bad about it is when you tell some people, like women, I think react differently than guys because they have the emotional aspect. They go, how would I have felt if that happened? Whereas a guy laughs, like you're great reactions. You laugh and stuff. That's what I like. And then when some women, though, I notice the stories that we're laughing at.
Oh, you tell like Becky.
Oh, and Amy and her sister
and Becky
are like, oh, that's horrible. Like, oh, it's so bad, And I'm like, to me, I'm like, that makes me go, wow, my life sucked more than I realized.
No, what's funny is the stuff like that, they probably don't even remember that stuff, those people.
Yeah.
I seriously, you probably talked to that person, they wouldn't even remember it even happened, which is weird to me. But I guess there's some things you do forget unless someone brings it up and they're like, I remember that. Thanks for bringing it up. No, but it's funny. Is like, what else? So many crazy stuff. Oh, what time is it, by the way?
It's 4:15, or rather 1:15.
Okay.
You are.
So 1:15. I'll probably just say I was gonna end it at 1, but how about I'll end it at 1:30? So 14 minutes.
Gotcha.
I'll set my timer.
Remember, you're talking about like being little mobsters. Like, it's kind of true. We policed the neighborhood a little as kids.
Oh yeah. That's
I
true.
mean, we watched all these like tough guy movies as kids because that's what our grandpa and my dad would always put on for us. And so like we thought you got to defend people that are smaller than you, even if they were small ourselves.
Yeah.
So I remember one day I was eating my cereal Saturday morning, look out the window, and my friend is in a headlock by somebody we'd never seen in the neighborhood. I'm like, he don't belong here. What's he doing? He's picking on one of our guys.
Yeah.
We came out there and my friend's like just like face is beat red because this kid's like, I don't know, 13, 14, and I think we're like probably 9 or 10, and he's got him in a headlock, so his legs are dangling, and he's just forcing his head all the way down, so all the blood's going on. And I remember like I said something that's totally I probably got from a Stallone line or something. I said, hey, you think you're tough? Why don't you try doing that to me when I'm walking over there? And the kid's, of course, like, all right, throws my friend across the lawn, and just instantly before I know it, I'm at a headlock with having my head forced down like my nuts could get broken.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, oh, and then I realized I can't get out of this.
Oh,
this kid's bigger than me, stronger than me, weighs more than me, taller than me. I can't get out of this.
Yeah.
And the only reason I got out of it was my dad like looks out the window and sees this kid get me in a headlock, and he doesn't yell like, hey, let the kid go or anything like that. He just yells, punch him in the nose, Mike. And the kid got startled, like there's an adult telling this kid to punch me in the nose. His arms loosened just enough where I dropped my full body weight, and I turned around and I did like the Ryu uppercut. Knocked him back. He went flying down, and I got on top of him and put my knees on each of his shoulders so he couldn't get up right away. And I I put my fist back and go, "You gonna leave our neighborhood?" Or I go, "Do you want some more?" And the kid's like, "No, I'll leave it." I go, "If I let you up, you better leave, or it's just gonna get worse." The kid's like, "No." I let him up, and he got on his bike and rode out of there, looking back like these kids are crazy.
Yeah, we never seen him again either.
No.
Like, he disappeared forever, man.
He's
like
still riding his bike.
He still ride his bike somewhere.
He's 47 years old, still riding his bike. Trying to
he's like almost he's halfway to the Brazil now, or maybe he made it to Brazil by now.
But it was crazy because I was just like, man, I think about it now. And I'm like, Dad, that's weird that you would just yell that instead of like telling the kid to get off me. And he goes, well, I figure you could handle it. And I'm like, I couldn't move. I couldn't. If that kid didn't loosen his grip for a second, being shocked, it would have been over for me. That kid would have been like, what did you tell him? He started beating me up.
Yeah, Rip Mikey.
Yeah.
No, it's funny though. We dealing with stuff as a kid, we would totally just be like, we would think of it as in terms of like a movie character if we grew up watching, and we would just deal with it. So we weren't like scared.
Right.
We were just like, all right, time to deal with it. And,
like we even had like, you know, I don't know, you should, if you have kids, always have them go, if they're 2 boys or 2 girls, go to the bathroom together in a group. Because when we were little, we used to always go with our grandparents, my mom, my great grandma, and my grandma and my great aunt. Every Saturday they'd go do all their shopping for the week together. And you know, we'd go to, afterwards we'd go eat at Ponderosa and the steakhouse. And my mom would be like, hey, Matt's gotta go to the bathroom. And Mikey, go with him. They're like, oh yeah, I don't want to go, you know. And they're like, but she'd always be adamant, you gotta go when one of you go, right? And finally learned the reason why she did that. It was smart, is because when Matt was in the bathroom, I was in the sink, and the sink's kind of hidden away from the rest of the stalls and the urinals. It's around a corner, and there's like a tile wall. And so I'm like washing my hands at the sink and just kind of like being a little kid making soap bubbles and stuff. It's the weirdest stuff. And I'm like probably 9, and this, all of a sudden I'm getting irritated because Matt's taking a while in the bathroom. And so I look over in the mirror, I can see a catch of somebody's really tall, taller than they should be. So I turn around the corner and I can see this kid standing on the urinal next to the stall, keeping Matt going to the bathroom.
What?
And and he's probably like, I don't know, what do you think? 15, you know?
Yeah, 13, 14 maybe, but maybe 15.
You know, 2 years older than me, so he's maybe, you know, 10 or 11.
Right.
And Matt doesn't see it, and I was like, that's not cool, that's gross. So I yelled, like cupping my hands in this echoing part of the sink area where he can't see me. I go, hey, get on there. And the kid like slips into the urinal and falls over and takes out of the bathroom really fast.
Nasty.
But I got to look at his face when he ran out of there. He didn't know who was there, you know, that called him. And so later we go to the store, and we're all shopping, and we split up because, you know, kids were like looking at it like, hey, you know, is there anything we could find? I think it was like, you know, toys at Target or something, right?
Yeah,
so we're like looking down the aisle, and all of a sudden the kid's walking down the aisle. This kid I seen, and I'm with my I'm with my brother and my cousin Scotty, you know, who was like our other brother. And so we're like, I was like, hey, there's that pervert.
Mike just said right out loud, like, that's a pervert. And then, go ahead.
Yeah, that kid overheard me. I didn't know I was that big of a loudmouth, but the kid overheard me and comes up and grabs me because he's bigger.
Yeah, it's like Back to the Future moment where it's like he grabs Mike by the shirt, right?
Yeah.
Like Biff grabbing like Marty McFly, and then Mike is this small little kid. He just grabs the kid by his shirt. Like it looked like the movie scene, like they're about to punch each other.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, his mom starts coming around the corner, and so that's when all of a sudden his mom's like, hey, what's going on? He takes off running out of there, you know, because he could see the mom coming.
Right.
And I was just like, this guy and Matt were like, geez, man, that guy, he had got a lot of nerve. He's offended for being called a pervert. He's a pervert.
Right.
Yeah, he's peeping Tom, and he's like offended. That's what cracked me up. But yeah, he just like he grabbed Mike and just like by the shirt, around the lapels, and then Mike just like grabs him, cocks his hand like gonna punch the kid back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, it's a classic like movie scene or something. It just that's what I mean. It's like stuff like that happening. People say truth is stranger than fiction. I mean, there's stuff like weirder than that. Was like almost like a Saturday for us, like right. It was like something. It was like so many weird things that would happen, and I'll forget some things. And Michael, remember this? And I go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was crazy. And it's funny is you don't remember. It's funny things that you remember as a kid. You remember it now in the context of being an adult, and you're like, "Whoa, wait a second, that was serious. What the heck?"
Yeah.
But as a kid, you're like, "Oh yeah, I remember this happened." And
Matt, as an older brother, a lot of times saved me from bad things. That could have happened to me.
Yeah.
Like there's time where like I think I could have gotten molested by this teenage girl when I was like only like 8. I think she'd probably been molested. And,
yeah.
And it was like because I was like the little kid where you don't you're like playing with toys like in the tub still and taking baths with your cousin and thinking it's normal. Like I wasn't I'm talking about a funny incident of how my cousin farted in the tub while we're playing with GI Joes and he said bombs away. And I'm telling this at school like that's normal. Like and my friends that didn't have cousins that they took baths with, they're like, what what'd you say? And I'm like, what? And I didn't get that, to people like didn't take baths together. I was a little kid,
Right. Yeah.
And so that when that girl was like, when we got older, we're like, dude, I realized now she had to have been probably molested too, the way she was trying to do stuff,
Yeah, as a kid though, it's like it doesn't dawn on you.
But we just thought she's a weirdo. We just need to stay away from her, man. She's weird. Why would she act that way, And now we're older, we're like, whoa, that was messed up.
Yeah, like we probably should have said something. I mean,
we didn't
even tell our parents. Yeah, we just thought this is one of those weird things.
It's creepy. We'll just stay away from her.
Yeah.
And then so I go, there's a lot of things I realize now you got to talk to your kids a lot.
She was a friend of the older sister of one of our friends that we play in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we would go over his house and play, and and then we found out that we're like, whoa, what the? She like tried do some stuff and like we were just like, man, it's like, but not to get too serious about it. We're just looking back at those type of memories. You're like, wait a second, and as an adult, you're like, I remember that was weird. And I go, wait a minute, that was really bad. That could have been a really bad situation for us.
Yeah, even
up.
Matt saved me from getting strangled before too.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
We you play Army in the neighborhood, and the same neighborhood where we there was all the kids were gone for summer vacation, and my cousin was like visiting Hamtramck, Michigan, or not Hamtramck, South Haven, and so it was just me and Matt in the neighborhood, and I think I was just like, hey, let's play Army surveillance. So we're spying on the kids in the other neighborhood, and all the kids in the other neighborhood are all like teenagers. And so we had like the Army camouflage clothes on, little machine guns, and they seen us with the Army binoculars, the little toy plastic binoculars, and they chased us, and we thought, haha, we got on the porch, and we're playing with another little kid that looks like something out of a movie, Jeff. He's a little chubby kid with a flat top, with a blonde flat top. These are cool.
Jeff was great.
Cartoon. And we were all thinking, hey, we got to our porch, we're safe, and we're all laughing at these 16, 17-year-olds came up to our porch, and we're like, oh yeah, we're just spying on you, playing. And the kid goes, oh, you think that's funny? And he got up behind me, and he pulls out like a long thing of rope.
What?
Wraps it around my neck, twists it around, and then kicks me off the porch, and it's holding me up in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I was small for my age, even.
Right.
So I'm like hanging. I can't. My legs are off the ground over the porch side. And he's just like hanging me, and I'm clawing at my neck, I can't get my fingers underneath the rope.
Yeah.
And Matt, like smaller than him, he goes, "Hey, my brother-in-law!" And he runs up and just grabs the kid by the shoulder, pulling him off balance. So the kid's still holding me though.
Yeah.
And he turns the kid, and he just uppercuts him in the rib cage, and the
Oh,
kid
cool.
like goes over, and then the kid, like when he goes over, he kicks him with the nuts and kicks him off the porch with his elbow.
Kick him in the nuts.
The kid goes flying off the porch, and then he grabs me and pulls me up on the porch because I'm on the ground, and he's like, "Get in the house!" And we get in the house, and we lock the door. And I think her parents at the time, my mom was probably sleeping because she worked the night shift,
Yeah.
and so they're like pounding on the door and told my mom's like, "What's going on?" And then they took off, and I was like, "Whoa!" But in I think about that now, and I was like, man, if we didn't watch each other's back when we were kids, we would be here.
We'd both be dead.
Yeah. But our parents
man.
always made it a point. Like, if you go out and ride a bike, you got to go with them and ride a bike.
Yeah.
And at the time, we were like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, yeah, it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
It's like that Lost Boys. Remember where the Lost Boys, the mom says, make sure you take your brother, and he's like what? And he's like, hey, I don't need a babysitter, Mike. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like Corey Haim's character, I don't need a babysitter. It's like that's how you felt like as a kid. You're like, I don't need to take him. But then it's like you don't realize, you disparage some people, some bad customers if you have a group. If you have more people, it's like it makes it less appealing to try anything.
These responses cracked me up, dude. What the heck? And then Amy puts, I don't know, is that a
popcorn? She's eating popcorn while listening to your story.
Oh, man. At first, I thought it was a weird birdhouse.
Weird birdhouse.
That's why I was like, what the heck? Yeah, the popcorn. That's funny. Yeah.
Now that was just for starters, man. We had some really crazy stories. But here, I gotta fix this. But that was my timer going off, so
Oh, okay.
I should probably wrap it up because you guys probably got stuff to do too.
Yeah, I was just making up nonsense. I didn't really have a plan.
You weren't making it up; it all happened, man.
No, I'm talking about my drawing here.
Oh, you want to show it?
Oh, were you not showing it ever?
You didn't have it shared.
Oh, I thought I did. What the heck?
Oh.
It says on my thing, sharing screen. Really?
Huh. Yeah, it's not sharing.
Yeah, stop sharing and I'll try again.
Oh wait, here.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's probably at the bottom. And
oh, I know what it is. My page is like not like fully extended. My web page. I think it was hidden. Yeah, I see it now. I gotta scroll down. I'd never seen that before. There we go. There's Mikey's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was just trying to make something up while I was doodling, talking.
Yeah.
Is that the guy that was trying to run us down?
No,
I was
was
delivering food.
yeah.
Yeah, he was delivering food. That's all he just had a little mishap, and we tried to take him out.
Right.
Well, I just watched an episode of, because I'm really into the Korean dramas on Netflix, so I watched an episode of I think it's Where the Camellia Blooms, and I really love that show.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this delivery girl, and I remember I was just trying to draw from memory because you can't screen capture Netflix if you watch it on your phone. I got to probably put it on my TV and take a photo of it. But I was trying to remember how her like delivery bike and everything looked. My memory is foggy. Yeah. It's like, you think you remember something and you're kind of like, I don't remember how it looks sitting on there. So,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fake it enough for
Strongest delivery man's great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you.
It's funny. Christina Lynn said she laughed at the zombie cornfield story.
Oh, yeah. We did a lot of fun stuff like that. Yeah.
So hey, it's Nolan. Punching Pandas. How's it going, Nolan? Yeah, Punching Pandas. Check out his stuff too. Nolan stops by and he'll once in a while participate in drawing and quartered when he has time. He usually comes in towards the end and cranks out a cool drawing.
Beats everybody.
Yeah, I love that. I love that Namor one. That was so
hilarious.
awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, that was sweet. You just cranked that out fast too. Yeah, check out Punching Pandas Nolan. Becky loves the pandas that he does too.
So he just pandas punching.
Well, they different things, but yeah, they have boxing gloves, Punching Pandas. He animates too.
Oh, really?
It's no more. That's how you pronounce it. No more.
No. Namor.
No more.
Namor.
Just Namor.
Mariner.
I say, yeah. Do you say Submariner or Submariner?
Submariner.
Submariner.
No,
Yeah.
Submariner.
It's Submariner.
You can say it both ways, actually, but I prefer Submariner.
No, if you watch the old 1960s Marvel Comics cartoon, it's Submariner. Because everyone always wants, is it Submariner or Submariner? Then that cartoon came out and they specified it's Submariner.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a kid, I used to always say Submariner.
Me
Sounds
too.
cool.
So did I.
Submariner.
Yeah.
That's funny. Submariner. But I see we got. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. It's funny. Nolan always comes at the end of Drawing a Quarter, and he's at the end of Mystery.
Yeah.
Good time, and Nolan.
Make an impression.
Sub my wiener. What the?
No,
that sounds bad. That sounds bad. I just after I said it, I just realized what it sounded like.
You're turning on one of those kids.
He puts a thumbs up. Nolan puts a thumbs up.
Hold your tongue and say, "I was born on a pirate ship."
Yeah, that's one of those ones
with
that
ashes all around me.
Yeah.
That's
So with that,
kids would do.
I would say goodbye to everybody. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Amy Lester. Of course, we got Jiminy Cricket as a guest. Mikey, original Mikey, my brother Mikey.
The OG Mikey.
And OG Mikey. And then Christina and Hiroshi Paradox. And I think,
cool name.
Of course,
Grant
Becky
Crosby.
stopped by.
Yeah.
Grant Crosby. Jay Potts, of course, Jay Potts with his humor there. Carrie Shipman. Melissa Lester. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving because we did, man. We ate too much, but we still have some leftover turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, you guys check out Jason's Instagram and YouTube. There's descriptions. I have his links in the description here on the video, so check those out. Also for Mikey, his Instagram's up, and I think even Becky, I think. But yeah, check out also every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We do Drawn and Quartered, and you can see us draw in a friendly competition that you guys get to vote on at the end of the Drawstream, and also you get to participate and do your own drawings, draw along, which Amy, Lester, and Melissa do a lot, and Hiroshi Paradox as well would join in. So, and Hiroshi Paradox, we're all doing that again. We're doing the Drawn and Quartered. I don't know if you've been watching lately, but we kind of took a hiatus, but we're back up and going on Mike's channel, Blacklist Universe, and that's also in the description link. So, but thanks everybody for stopping by, Jason.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's fun chatting with you guys and drawing.
Yeah.
Did you have any art you want to show too, or
Who?
you?
Let's see. Oh, yeah.
You working? I think before we sign out. Hey, there's Andrew Hayes. Good to see you, Andy.
Share. Oh, there we go. Share.
Okay, let's see.
Your window.
Wait, where are we? I'm trying to look, but I don't see your share yet.
I haven't put it up yet. There you go.
Oh. Still waiting. Oh, wait, there it is. There you go. Oh, nice. That's what your lettering.
It's my lettering.
It's Brute, right?
Wow.
It's Brute.
Yeah, it's Brutus the Badass.
Okay, that looks cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
What are you using
not my-
to
I'm sorry?
What are you using to letter?
I'm using Adobe Illustrator.
Man, it looks really good.
Yeah. I didn't draw it. This is drawn by Donald DeLay, and it's written
Oh.
by Nasser Abadi. So
Well, the art looks great, but the lettering too, the placement and everything looks really good.
yeah, I'm just trying to make it so that you can tell the flow from one panel to another, because like this panel here, well, hold on, where am I? This panel here,
Yeah.
it's confusing to me because you're supposed to read it like here, here, then here, then here.
Yeah.
It's like
That is confusing.
it's a confusing flow, so I have to put his word balloon up here so you read it.
Yeah, that'll help you lead the eye. That word balloon That's
Right.
where the letterer comes in handy right there.
Yeah, because when I read the script, I was like, wait a second, if he's supposed to be talking, why is he down here? Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I have to sort of place the word balloon so that your eye flows in the right direction. So
That looks great.
thanks.
Cool. Yeah, that's good, man. So check that out. Jason's channel. I know he's doing drawing. It. He did Piers Brosnan. I just saw on their video live stream.
Yep. Did that, I think, Saturday, I think?
Yeah, just what's funny is I was just watching an episode of Remington Steel with Becky
Oh, I love that show.
a few days
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
I had a big crush on her.
Oh yeah, that's what I said to Becky, and she goes, "What, her?" And I'm like,
On who?
"Yeah,
Stephanie Zimbalist. Wow.
Remington Steel, remember?"
Yeah, Laura Holt.
No, I don't.
What? Mikey.
I'll look her up.
Mikey was too busy outside beating up people.
Hey.
He's a little too busy there.
I was running for my life.
It's funny, Jeff Potts. He said, "I thought you guys were leaving."
Oh,
yeah.
Potts.
And then Christina says they got to save Bruce Lee from the Nomus.
Oh, Nomus. Yes.
Yeah, see, there you go. Bruce Lee's being taken away by the Nomus.
You know, it's trouble if Bruce Lee needs help.
Yeah, he can handle him. But I'll probably have to make him a little bit lower his body a little bit so he looks shorter. But no, yeah, thanks everybody stopping by. Thanks guys for joining me in the live stream, and we will see you Wednesday if you drop by Mike Miller's Blacklist Universe channel. But until then, see you guys later. Have a great week.
Yeah.
Happy Monday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
Yeah, trouble.